Grecia și Turcia încearcă să rezolve tensiunile pe care le-au acumulat din 1995, de când parlamentul turc a aprobat casus belli, adică posibilitatea de a le declara război grecilor pentru un teritoriu marin pe care și-l dispută. Din fericire, nu s-a ajuns încă la conflict militar, iar recent liderii celor două țări au decis să continue pe calea diplomației. Dacă situația cu Turcia este încă sensibilă, planurile pe care Grecia și România le au în regiune prind tot mai mult contur. Discutăm despre toate aceste subiecte cu Sofia Grammata, ambasadorul Atenei la București, aflată la final de misiune. Sunt Cristina Cileacu, începe Pașaport Diplomatic. Sofia Grammata, Ambassador of Greece in Bucharest, welcome to Diplomatic Passport.
Thank you for having me.
Energia pare să fie noua legătură puternică dintre România și Grecia. Grecii investesc masiv în acest sector din România și, la nivel regional, împreună cu țările vecine, dezvoltă rețele de alimentare cu gază și electricitate. Lecția oferită de războiul început de ruși în Ucraina a fost bine învățată și acum România și Grecia sunt tot mai eficiente la producția de energie, inclusiv din surse regenerabile.
When Russia started the war in Ukraine, the entire Europe was trying to discover new resources for energy in Romania and Greece, become quite good in producing energy from sustainable resources, from green resources. In the same time, we discovered that Greece is investing more and more in the energy sector in Romania. Why is this a big interest of the Greek energy companies to invest here in Romania?
The interest of Greek businessmen with regard to investments in Romania is growing. Your country, since its accession to the EU in 2007, has a constant economic growth, and you have a well-skilled labor force, very convenient for the businessmen tax legislation, and in fact there is a kind, let's say, of great energy potential in your country that interests our businessmen a lot. The public power state, the public power corporation of Greece is interested also in what you mentioned, the energy, the renewable sources of energy. Greece and Romania turn more and more into green economy. In fact, I think that one of your plans that we have in common is even to build offshore power plants for renewable energy sources. The new factor in our relations is also the fact that Greece invests more and more as regards its energy relations with the Republic of Moldova. You know perhaps that through the IGB, the Republic of Moldova gets more than 30% of its natural gas from Greece now, through Romania, of course, Bulgaria and Romania. I think this is beneficial to Greece, Romania, and to all the countries that participate in the 3 Seas initiative. And it's not by chance that my country recently became the 13th member of this initiative, thanks to the efforts and to the invitation of the Romanian hosts.
Inițiativa celor 3 mări înseamnă 12 state membre ale Uniunii Europene și 3 mări din spațiul lor geografic, care vor să se conecteze mai bine în ideea unei dezvoltări comune și echilibrate a regiunii. Bucureștiul a fost locul unde anul acesta s-a decis că Grecia trebuie să fie inclusă în acest grup.
This decision indeed was taken in Bucharest to the latest summit of the Three Seas initiative, and if we add to the original Three Seas, the Black Sea, the Adriatic and the Baltic Sea, the seas of the Greece, what can we expect more? I mean, this is a project that's supposed to connect the infrastructure among the original 12 members from north to south and east to west. Now we have Greece, the member number 13 of this smaller alliance, let's call it like this. So what is Greece bringing to the table in this sense?
A fourth sea, in fact. We bring Aegean Sea, we bring the Eastern Mediterranean connected to the Suez Canal. We bring, in fact, also the Adriatic Sea through the Ionian Sea and the Ionian Islands. This is one aspect of this initiative that is growing in importance, viewed in light of what happens in the Middle East, and in light of the great energy resources of Egypt, Israel and Lebanon. I think that Greece's contribution can be immense, can be really important, and we are looking forward to cooperating with Romania also in this framework.
Fâșia Gaza a fost cea mai mare închisoare în aer liber, acum este cel mai mare cimitir. Războiul dintre Israel și Hamas este un efect al terorismului și, ca în orice război, populația civilă este cea care plătește cel mai mare preț. Soluția două state, palestinian și israelian, este mai necesară ca oricând, pentru că violențele nu vor duce la nimic bun pe termen lung și lipsa de stabilitate pentru palestinieni va fi o problemă constantă pentru israelieni.
Well, since you brought up the situation in the Middle East, we also have to look, of course, to the wars that we have ongoing now, one in Europe, in Ukraine, the other one in the Middle East between Israel and Hamas. NATO is luckily our family, and both our countries do a lot of things together in NATO, but NATO is stronger if the member states are also working together in the region. So what are Romania and Greece doing in this region of the eastern flank?
Greece and Romania share the same views, the same positions as regards the war in Ukraine and as regards what happens between Israel and Hamas. Speaking about Ukraine, I have to tell you that my country has already granted an assistance, including military assistance, worth more than 170 million euro. With regard to what happens in Israel and in the Gaza Strip, one cannot possibly say that one thing is a humanitarian crisis and another is not. It's really a disaster what we see in the region. And unfortunately, we know very well after what happened in Yugoslavia more than 20 years ago, that those wounds cannot be healed very quickly. I think that the only solution with regard to Israel and the Palestinian people is the two-state solution that both our countries support. And I think that it would be really useful for Romania and Greece to cooperate also on this issue. It's a matter of great interest. Speaking about Ukraine, I will add somehow national element in this war. You know perhaps that we have a Greek minority in and around Mariupol, and a more limited one in and in the district of Odessa. We don't know exactly what happens with our people in Mariupol, because now they belong in a territory temporarily occupied by Russia. These are peaceful people that are there for hundreds of years, and one can see what happens in the lives of peoples with a war. The Greek embassy in Bucharest has exercised its power, let's say, with regard to evacuation operations. I am thankful to the Romanian authorities, as well as to the Moldovan authorities, with regard to the execution of these operations. But I have to tell you that I also witnessed horrible moments. We have evacuated families, and the small children left once their ballet shoes in the bus. So I remember the girl shouting, "Mommy, Mommy, I have forgotten my ballet shoes." And I said to myself, she hasn't understood that not only the ballet lessons, but all her life is behind, and she will start a new life whose elements she cannot even imagine. So there is no war without tragic stories, and it's a pity that the international community in 2023 has not found the way to resolve the crisis before they happen.
Situația Republicii Moldova este fragilă dacă o privim în contextul amenințărilor hibride pe care Rusia le folosește din plin. De aceea este esențială susținerea parcursului european pe care Moldova și-l dorește, iar grecii sunt printre cei care au înțeles acest lucru.
You are also ambassador for Republic of Moldova, but the good news is that soon Greece will open another embassy in Chișinău in Moldova. Why is this decision taking?
I was the first and the last Greek ambassador representing my country to the Republic of Moldova based in Bucharest, because before it was our embassy in Kiev that was responsible for the Republic of Moldova. I can tell you that I enjoyed my trips to Chișinău. It's a beautiful city, but I think that this country deserves a Greek embassy there. It's a candidate country to the EU, country facing different threats, hybrid threats. We are supportive of its European perspective. We fully support the efforts of this country, of these resilient people, to survive, to continue towards growth, and to continue its European path. And I am sure that the Greek embassy there will serve this purpose quite well.
Poziția geografică determină și volumul migrației pe care o țară îl are de reglat. Întotdeauna a existat, legal sau ilegal, migrație pe glob. Problemele se resimt acum mai acut pentru că diferențele de bunăstare dintre continente sunt mai mari. Războaiele au devenit mai agresive și valurile celor care migrează, fie să-și salveze viața, fie să aibă o viață mai prosperă, sunt mai numeroase. Europa este raiul pentru populațiile care trăiesc în țări instabile, doar că nu are încă soluții pentru echilibrarea fenomenului.
At the level of Europe, there is this debate, and in Romania it's a big story, the fact that us and Bulgaria, we are not yet accepted in the Schengen area. And of course it's an issue of larger European approach, because we are talking about irregular migration, and Greece has huge problem with that. What can be done at the level of Europe? Because nobody stopped migration in the history. It cannot be stopped, but it can be somehow ordered in order to have some rules that are respected in Europe.
In Greece, we have migration waves after every war. The war in Iraq brought Iraqis in my country. The war in Afghanistan, the same. So this is not a new phenomenon, unfortunately, in my country. I cannot hide the fact that many times immigrants bring also growth to the countries they go. We cannot deny that fact. But the reality is that many times they cannot really be well integrated in the European societies. This has to be dealt with mainly in the countries of their origin. This is the thinking of many great EU powers, and we expect that we will see some results. Also, with regard to the repatriation, to the possibility of the EU countries to repatriate the immigrants that are illegal immigrants in the EU countries without papers, without any possibility to be part of our societies. And the EU has some economic relations, some very important political relations with countries of their origins. And I think that we should also use this path to simplify the procedures towards their way back. Speaking about my country, most of the immigrants come from Turkey. As Prime Minister of Greece said recently, the solution is on the Turkish shore, not on the Greek territory. The evacuation operations I have spoken about previously are nothing compared to evacuation in the sea, of course, Cristina. The issue of the Schengen, nevertheless, I don't think that it's directly connected to the immigration issue. Greece supports a lot your country's and Bulgaria's accession to Schengen. And there is also an economic aspect, speaking about my country. Because we are a Schengen member state, but still a Schengen island. We don't have land borders with any other Schengen member state. And this affects negatively tourism coming and going from Greece, our commercial exchanges, trucks wait for long queues on the borders with Bulgaria, and then Bulgaria and Romania borders, and so on. It shouldn't continue. I think that your country deserves its accession to Schengen as soon as possible, and I wish you good luck in the very coming months. I am sure that you will succeed.
Let's hope so.
Când am înregistrat acest interviu, președintele Turciei începea o vizită importantă la Atena, pentru că tensiunile dintre cele două state NATO sunt puternice. Problemele de istorie recentă au început în 1995, când parlamentul de la Ankara a dat undă verde pentru casus belli, adică pentru a declara război Greciei dacă această țară își extinde zona de coastă mai mult de 6 mile marine. Prevederea încalcă legea internațională și a fost chiar aproape să fie pusă în practică în 2020. După recenta întâlnire cu premierul Kyriakos Mitsotakis, Erdogan a declarat că începe o nouă eră de prietenie cu vecinii greci și că Marea Egee va deveni o mare a păcii. Casus belli încă nu a fost anulat, dar măcar Grecia și Turcia au început dialogul pe acest subiect.
But since you mention the situation with migrants coming from Turkey, of course everyone witnessed the tensions between Greece and Turkey lately, and now we see that there is some sort of reconciliation. President Erdogan will travel to meet your Greek Prime Minister Mitsotakis. What shall we expect?
If you ask me, I would expect the cancelling of casus belli. But I'm not that optimistic. I think that what we expect is to start a real political dialogue, to have an enhancement of the confidence-building measures, and to sign, if I'm not mistaken, around 20 agreements on the so-called low politics issues that nevertheless create a positive climate between two countries. We will have a government-to-government meeting, and from the Greek side we will have 11 ministers taking part. This is also significant regarding the expectations of my country and our will to really cooperate with Turkey on economic issues, on issues of cultural exchanges. You know that Greece and Turkey are strong commercial partners. It's not by chance that although we have witnessed this tension for years, in fact, let's say chronological signal might be, if I recall correctly, the ratification by my country of UNCLOS. This was a turning point, Cristina. We ratified it in December '95, and right after, some days after, the Parliament of Turkey declared the casus belli if my country continues in implementing the provisions of UNCLOS with regard to our territorial waters. And then the revendications coming from our neighbor regarding Greek islands started. But this can be very easily a past. And we can go into a brighter future, brighter for both peoples, because it's not a solution for Turkey, neither for my country, always to give billions of euros for weaponry. We cannot continue like that. I think that we have other sectors of our economy to invest on, and myself, I would be really interested in my country investing more in sectors of peaceful, ordinary life, instead of the investments that we are obliged to have recourse to due to our neighbors' positions and attitude.
Atât pentru astăzi, dar rămânem în continuare online pe pagina de Facebook a emisiunii și pe contul nostru de Twitter. Revenim cu subiecte noi din lumea diplomației și a politicii externe, vinerea viitoare de la 11:30 și reluare sâmbătă după miezul nopții. La revedere!